guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video on something that I've been wanting to do a video on ever since I started this channel. And you know me, if you have been on my channel before and watched my videos before, then you know that I am all about doing things on a budget. So this is no surprise that today I'm going to be talking about grocery shopping on a budget. I've actually had quite a few people ask me how I do it and my tips and tricks, and that is what I'm going to do today. And I am in no way, shape, or form telling you guys how to grocery shop. I am simply just sharing how Alex and I grocery shop and all of the tips and tricks that I have learned over the past couple years of being on my own. I'm gonna go ahead and just jump right into it. Again, I've got all of my notes right here. So if you want, go ahead and get out your notebook and a pen and take some notes if you think that this is something that could benefit you. When Alex and I first got married, we would just go to the grocery store whenever we needed groceries and just pick things off the shelf and end up spending way too much money at the grocery store and not even eating all of the stuff that we had in our kitchen, and we were wasting money. And it came to a point to where we were like, okay, we need to be saving money, we need to be making better financial choices, so how can we do this? And that's when I learned all about having a budget and what that looks like. So when I had written out my budget, I had X amount of dollars that I thought would be appropriate for groceries. And when I started grocery shopping with that budget in mind, I realized I was either falling short of, or there was even a period of time where I was exceeding that budget. That was after getting everything that I needed, like basic necessities from my grocery list. And so something that I recommend is make your budget for groceries per month and make a budget per week as well if you go grocery shopping every week. And what I do is before I go to the grocery store, I make a list of all my dinners, all of the lunch ideas that I have, and all of the breakfasts that we're gonna have for the week. And I get all of those ideas based off of things that I already have in my kitchen, in my fridge and in my pantry, my freezer, etc. And I make recipes and base all of my meals off of what I already have. That makes a huge difference. I know it's not always what I want, but at least I'm using up the ingredients that I have in my kitchen and not wasting any money and not wasting any ingredients that are in my kitchen already. A lot of the time, cheap dinners and cheap meals in general that I have found are meals that have canned goods in them, such as black beans and corn. So what I like to do is I like to go on Pinterest and just type in cheap dinner ideas or cheap, I almost said dinner, cheap lunch ideas and so on and so forth for snacks and for breakfast. And that's where I get a lot of my ideas from, is Pinterest. You can type in cheap anything and they will give you some really, really great ideas. When I'm writing my meals down for the week, I do my dinners, my lunches, my breakfasts, and then I include 1 to 2 different kinds of snacks for Alex and I. For example, I like to buy the big 50 count variety pack of the chips, like the big cardboard box with all the different kinds of chips in there. That is so nice to have around the house, especially for snacks throughout the day. I know it's not exciting, but it saves us a lot of money. It keeps us from having a lot of extra junk around the house, and it limits us because after a while we get tired of having chips, so we don't sit around and snack all day. And then I will also get like a bag of craisins or some apples or bananas, and those are really the only kind of snacks and extras that we have laying around the house other than what we use for the meals that I make throughout the week. And when it comes to buying things like bananas and apples, I only buy the quantity that I know we will actually eat. Because if I just buy a huge bag of apples and I'm really only anticipating on eating 3 or 4 that week, then I'm wasting all that money on all those other apples. So that's just something to keep in mind. After doing exactly what I just told you and buying things only for the meals that I make and for maybe some snacks or dessert for the week, if I see that I would consider that all the necessities because I'm not buying anything extra. If I see that that is exceeding what I have budgeted, or maybe it's less than what I had budgeted, then I'm going to adjust my grocery budget on that, because I think at first you really don't know how much money you need. And so after a few months of trying out this plan, or this way of shopping, I was able to see how much I really do need for groceries. And for example, I actually just had to readjust our budget because we've been eating a little bit differently, trying to eat healthier, yada, yada, yada. And again, sticking to the bare minimum of what we need, I did have to change our grocery budget a little bit. So I do highly recommend trying this out for a few months, but trying to work off of a budget of what you can afford. And then at that point, I would just adjust your budget based on the amount of money that you're spending on your groceries. Another tip that I have is to eat leftovers. Eat leftovers for lunch. Have a night dedicated to leftovers. That is a lot of fun. Actually, I mean, I never really have leftovers because I cook for 2. I never cook for 3 or 4 unless we have company over. So we really usually don't have leftovers, but a lot of times, like if I'm making a big casserole, I will stick to that full recipe. That way I know for sure I will have leftovers, and it will save me money for lunches and possibly some dinner the rest of that week. Do not eat out. Alex and I, whenever we eat out, if we ever eat out, it's because we've got a really good coupon or a deal, and it's to Jersey Mike's, and we will split a giant sub and get chips and drinks here. So try to avoid eating out if, you know, at all possible. I know lives are crazy and, you know, whatever, but what really works for Alex and I is to not eat out and really work with what we have here at the house. And it's funny because there have been so many times where we don't have much at all in the house, and it would be so much easier to just go out and go get Jersey Mike's or go get some kind of food out. And we have instead come up with very creative creations based on what we had in the kitchen. And our go-to, this sounds super silly, but our go-to is tater tots with refried beans and cheese. And just to save money, and usually the only times that has ever happened is if like we're at the very end of a crazy paycheck and we just do not want to spend the money to go out, and we're trying so hard to save money. And so we just come up with something that we've got in the kitchen, and our favorite has been tater tots, refried beans, and cheese. I highly recommend that one. Coupons are great. When it comes to coupons though, something that I've noticed, and I think my mom pointed this out to me, coupons can be really great. Coupons can also be kind of a trick because, like, let's say you can save $1 on Bounty paper towels. I don't know. And next to the Bounty paper towels are the generic brand of paper towels. And the generic brand of paper towels are still $2 to $3 less than the Bounty paper towels after the coupon is applied. So always compare the coupon, like the deal, like what you're gonna end up paying with that coupon, compared to the generic brand of whatever it is that you're buying, and see what the better deal is going to be. Coupons can be really, really attractive, and they are really, really attractive, but sometimes they can be a little bit deceiving. Just always do your research, spend a little bit of time, like a little bit of extra time in that aisle of the grocery store, kind of seeing which one's gonna end up being the better deal, whether you have the coupon or not. I mentioned this in my last video. Use Ibotta. It is an app on your phone. I will link it in the description box down below. And you can go to your grocery store, and what I like to do is go onto my list before I go to the grocery store, go to Ibotta, find the grocery store that I'm going to be shopping at, and see if I can find anything that's on my grocery list on the Ibotta app and try to get some cash back. I highly recommend doing that. Again, it's super easy, very easy to navigate, and you actually get money for signing up, I believe. So yes, use Ibotta. The biggest tip that I have is do not go to the grocery store on an empty belly, because then you're going to be coming out with all of this stuff that you don't need. And let me tell you, Alex and I both, we are very naughty when it comes to that. We will go to the grocery store on the weekends together, literally at lunchtime, and we have not eaten lunch, and it is a struggle saying no to all of the delicious things that are screaming at us in the grocery store. Don't go to the grocery store on an empty stomach. Something else that really helps me out is I keep a little dry erase board on our fridge, and throughout the week as we run out of things, like, you know, the essential things, eggs, milk, toilet paper, whatever, I write that down on the fridge. That way when I go to make my grocery list before I go to the grocery store, I can look at that, see what we need, and that way I'm not forgetting anything and having to run back to the grocery store, yada, yada, yada. But those really are my biggest tips. Just purchase things that you need for your meals that you have planned out and nothing extra. Sometimes this is gonna sound really, really silly, but I will treat Alex and I to apple juice, or I will treat us to some ice cream. And that to me is a treat, because that's not something that I need in my house. That doesn't go with any of the meals that I have planned out, if that makes any sense. So whatever is going on in your household and whatever you consider a necessity, by all means, that's your necessity and you've got to get that. This is just what has worked for Alex and I really, really well, especially over this past year, because we're still learning, we're still really young, and we're learning, you know, all about saving money and being financially secure and being smart with our finances. So this is just what I have learned. If this helped any of you, then I am so glad. And if it didn't help you, then oh well, that's okay. Like I said, I just had some requests on making this video, so I sat down today, got all of my notes, and here I am making it for you. If you have any questions, or if any of this is kind of crazy, just please feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. And like I said, I'm not telling you on how you should grocery shop. I am just letting you know that this is how I grocery shop. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you like it, then please hit the thumbs up button. And if you have not already subscribed, please subscribe. That would mean the world to me. And I will see you guys in my next video.